गुड इवनिंग। विकल्प पढ़ने के समय फोन ऑफ रखता हूँ। That you can tell in the WhatsApp also. There is no need to discuss here. So notification came now. What should be our approach for phase one as well as phase two? Good evening. Okay, Vivek, I will answer this question. Good evening, Mr. Deepti, Shubham, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Stan. So, good evening. Zoom session. सर आपने Zoom session के लिए okay. Siddhant has retracted the message. No, that was a valid question. Okay. So RBI has given an advertisement in the leading newspaper about upcoming notification, right? They are coming with the notification on 28th. They are coming with the notification on 28th. Siddhant, I will come to your question also. So they have just given the advertisement, and on 28th they are coming with the notification. So what should be your strategy? Let the notification out, because what we are expecting, there will be some changes, right? So there will be some changes, especially in the descriptive, and some part of the syllabus may be changed, right? What internal reports and rumors are coming, as per those rumors and reports, probably there will be some changes, right? So before official notification going to be out, I don't feel there is a need to discuss what changes will be there, right? Today is 21st. Let's wait for another 7 days, as we are waiting for last 2 months. We can wait another 7 days. In the next 7 days, notification will be out, and each and everything is going to be crystal clear whether there will be any change or what change, and accordingly I will discuss with you the strategy how to go from there, right? So as we have planned the Zoom session, I don't think Zoom session is required right now. Let the notification out, then we will discuss in the Zoom session. Fine. So that's why I don't feel there is a need of Zoom session right now. Okay. And another question. Sir, my final year exam will be in April. Before phase one exam, will I have the mark sheet? I'm eligible. Probably you will be eligible, right? Because at the time of means they will clearly mention, but generally you are going to be eligible. Final students are being allowed, and let notification out. They will give you the final clarity. Okay, so Siddhant, just wait for another 6 days. See, my dear, I do not want to make comments on those things until unless they are clear. Right? Until unless they are clear. I'm a teacher of economics. So what I feel that until unless the things are officially in presence of me, in front of me, I always put myself away from making any guesses or clue kind of the thing. So I'll request you wait for another 6 days. Notification will be out. Things will be clear. Right. Descriptive check. Descriptive check question mark ये क्या है? Regarding the video series, yes, with the notification, as I'm taking classes almost 2 hours in a day, so we are going to wind up as soon as possible when the notification will be out. Accordingly, we will shift the strategy, but yes, we will wind up this as soon as possible. And one more important thing, we are planning to wind it up in the YouTube, right? So those who are interested, kindly complete your admission as soon as possible, because as per what we have decided, whatever maximum we can provide to the student, we already have given. But few things are going to be exclusively for our students who have paid to us. So for example, few things I'm going to do for exclusively for them. I'm not going to do free of cost. I'm telling you very honestly, I'm not going to do it free of cost, because we already did too much on the free of cost basis on this series, right? Long series. So within few days, means most probably next 3 to 4 days, we are going to wind it up on YouTube. That is exclusively going to be available for our paid student. अरे भैया थोड़ा ठंड रखो, कर देंगे चेक, काहे इतना परेशान हो? कितने भेजे तुमने? कितने आंसर शीट भेजी शुभम? हाउ मेनी? दो? तो अभी दो और भेजो, 4 पूरी लिख के भेजो, तब चेक करूंगा। ठीक है, बट सर आप takes too much time with the date within 15 to 20 minutes with GB data. एफडीए का पीडीएफ अभी अभी शेयर कर देता हूँ। सर डेटा खत्म हो जाता है मेरा भी। सी डेटा खत्म हो जाता है, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, बट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग ऑल्सो. You have paid for this course, right? For the data, if I'll go each and everything, right, on the app, means here, so it's going to be available for everyone. So what is the purpose to pay, right? So try to figure it out. I will also discuss this thing with the Ashok sir. Ki students are making this point ki the data issues there. I will discuss with them, but try to understand this thing also. Money is always motivation, right? Those people are who said that ki money is not an issue, right? If somebody is saying that ki no, money is not an issue, so that means money is the only issue, right? If somebody is saying that ki no, money is not an issue, for that person money is the only issue. Always keep this thing in mind, right? And some commercial aspect is required, so it is not going to be possible to be continued on YouTube free of cost for everyone, but we have to do something. Sir, अब तो notification is out. Notification not out. Advertisement is out. Notification is coming on 28th. अब सर डिवाइड कैसे करना है टाइम को प्री और मेंस के लिए, कैसे तैयारी करें? ये सर कुछ वीडियोस में वीडियोस की क्वालिटी रिड्यूस करके, बट कुछ वीडियोस का इंटरफेस डिफरेंस है पेड में, उसमें डेटा चेंज नहीं हो पाता है. Abhi, whatever you are doing, again I am telling you, they have just given a advertisement notification आज आने दो 28 को, then I'll let you know to all of you कि what amount of time you have to focus in what area, right? As you have patiently waited for last 2 months, just wait for another 6 more days. They will come out with the notification on 28th. I will discuss this strategy in detail, right? Ki whether you should continue, because what I am anticipating, they are going to put one more paper of descriptive, coming from the finance, economy and banking, most probably from banking. So they are going to focus one area exclusively as a banking area, right? So this is why I am trying to prevent myself to make any kind of the strategy planning right now, right? And if I will discuss with you, then again I have to discuss with you on the notification when it is going to out. So hold on, whatever you are doing, right, do it, but try to increase number of hours. Try to increase number of hours right? What amount of time you are giving for your preparation, try to increase it from here. So this is the first thing you should keep in your mind, ki you have to increase number of hours which you are spending for your studies, right? So in next 6 days you will be in the momentum and the notification will be out, then we will accordingly plan our strategy, right, for the different students who are at different level of preparation. For example, someone is in final year, someone is already have prepared and given the exam last year. That person, what area he should focus or she should focus, accordingly we will do that thing. Okay, so don't worry, and don't no need to be get overexcited with respect to this advertisement. That is just an advertisement. Notification will be out, and through notification we will discuss. Okay. सर क्रैक ग्रेड बी वाले सेबी फेज 2 का आंसर कब निकालेंगे? वांट टू कंफर्म अप्रोक्सीमेटली कितने मार्क्स आए पेपर 2 में? Akash, I'm taking this thing as a screenshot, okay, and I will share with team, and then I'll let you know. Okay. So can anybody tell me in the last class where we have means ended the last class? Okay. Nisha, can you, if possible, can you share some question, if possible, on the basis of memory, whatever you are able to share, you can share with me on Telegram directly. Acha, French and Dutch auction. Okay. So we was doing treasury bills. Okay. So in the last class we were discussing about the treasury bills, and in treasury bills we have discussed the French and Dutch auction. T bills or treasury bills, they are of 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days, right? And they are available on the basis of auction of fixed price. If auction, the French auction and Dutch auction will be also there. Good evening. So good evening, Venkat. Sir, GNP वाला numerical, GNP वाला numerical आया था. Okay. If possible, Akash, just share that question. Whatever you are able to recall, just write that question. Whatever you are able to recall, write that question to and send it to me on Telegram. Okay, I'll see it. So treasury bills we have discussed. One thing which is related to treasury bill, that is another instrument, that is cash management bills, right? Cash management bills. Deepika, right now only printed PDFs are available. I have not shared this live class PDF. Ibrahim, reasoning का strategy करो sir. Reasoning is not my area, my dear. Right. I will share your opinion or your request to the admin. सर आरबीआई मैनेजर ग्रुप ऑफिसर कैडर में होता है. अरे अभी अब पढ़ लो, बाकी क्वेश्चन बाद में. सर एनरोल्ड कोर्स नहीं, फेज 1 टेस्ट सीरीज. सर करंट अफेयर्स का सेशन कब होगा? करंट अफेयर्स पे विश्वास सही बताओ एकदम पनौती लगी हुई है. ठीक है, करंट अफेयर्स का अभी क्या बताऊं, ये देखो. करंट अफेयर्स का जो पीडीएफ है, this is the current affairs PDF I have prepared, right, to discuss with you, right. All this thing I have prepared to discuss with you, but unfortunately I was not able to discuss, right. And don't ask me why I was not able to discuss, but anyhow I was not able to discuss on the Sunday. Even in fact I have given the timing, but I was not able to discuss, right. So that's why I'm saying कि kind of पनौती लगी हुई है. I will try to मीन्स करके करता हूं मैं. ऐसा नहीं कि रेडी नहीं था, रेडी था, बट कुछ इश्यूज थे जिसकी वजह से वो नहीं हो पाया. ठीक है, सो आई विल ट्राई टू डू इट. सर एनरोल्ड कोर्स में टेलीग्राम का लिंक वो भी वर्क नहीं कर रहा है. ओके दीपिका, डू वन थिंग, ड्रॉप ए मेल टू just drop a mail to admin, right. Drop a mail to admin. I'll share your issue with Ashok ji. Anything else? Shall I start? शुरू करो मैं. Okay. So, as we know that treasury bills are having the validity of 3 months, 6 months, and 364 days, that is 1 year, right. So cash management bill was introduced. What was the purpose? The purpose was कि if government need money for less than 91 days, right, for less than 91 days. So for that purpose this cash management bill was introduced, right. Cash management bill was introduced for that purpose. And just just give me a second, I'll try to find it. If I have the PDF, I'll share the PDF with you. Okay. So I'll discuss this PDF also. Just let me explain. Uh, should we make group for RBI preparations, sir? Please Telegram writing message option for paid subscriber for doubt session. At present, only admins are allowed. See, Vikul, there are more than around 600 students are there, right? It is going to be like a machli bazaar, right? So I am not in favor, but if Ashokji want, he can open for it. But it's very difficult, right? It's very difficult to answer there, and I love to explain like here. So typing an explanation is not my cup of tea. I'll tell you very honestly. It is not possible for me to type and explain. Right. You people want to discuss there, you can discuss there. I for that I'll just discuss with the Ashokji regarding opening the channel for the paid student. But what I have seen that there are only few things like serious discussion. Most of the times normal things are being discussed, so this is why I'm not in the favor of going for that thing. Peer group discussion, yeah, I don't know, means if you people get benefited, maybe, but what I have seen, there is no real benefit, right? Most of the time you are wasting your time. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just giving my opinion, my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but what I have seen that the kind of peer discussion, all these things, that is only the wastage of time. Most of the time people are doing the copy paste things, right? If you will put any question, people will do copy and paste there, and you are also going to do the copy and paste. So there is no serious discussion is being on this kind of the platform. Most of the time you are unnecessary making your putting your time there, right? So what I'll suggest you to all of you is do your classes properly, and if you have any doubt regarding the class, in the next class you can ask the doubt directly to me. It will be better, right? Or try to find it out on your own. I have seen here many of the people have shared the question, and these questions from other platform, the question itself is wrong, right? Question itself is wrong. So this is why, especially for that platform, I'm not interested. So cash management bill was introduced. What was the objective? Objective was if the government need money for short term, right? Short term, which is less than 91 days. So rather than using the treasury bill, they can use the cash management bill. Though government have another option, that is ways and means advance. Government have this option of ways and means advance, but cash management bill was also introduced, right? So if the government have this facility of ways and means advance, why this was introduced? Just understand first what is ways and means advance. So I took this PDF, means I took this from Business Standard, and this is authentic one, so I can explain you what is ways and means advance. Ways and means advance gives a temporary loan facility. See, what we have to understand, we have to understand the cash management bill. But those people who know the ways and means advance, they get confused with what is the difference between ways and means advance and cash management bill. Even if you don't know what is ways and means advance, but you are going to know cash management bill right now, later on when you are going to encounter this ways and means advance, then you will get confused. So that's why I am going to explain you both. First ways and means advance, then I will let you know what is the difference between ways and means advance and cash management bill. I told you what is cash management bill. Cash management bill is a kind of treasury bill. It's a kind of treasury bill. It's like a treasury bill because it's a government security. It's a government security, and government security having maturity value of maturity time up to 91 days. Rest of the characteristics are same, but what is the difference? Difference is 91 days, maximum 91 days, whereas T-bills are of what? T-bills are of 91, 182 and 364 days, right? And what explanation was given? If government need money less than 91 days, then they can use the cash management bills. However, the same means what? If the government need money for the shorter duration, which is less than 91 days, they can also use this ways and means advance. So that's why I'm explaining you what is ways and means advance. Then it will be easier for you to differentiate, and you can understand what is the requirement of CMBs, right? So it's give the temporary loan facility to the central and state government. This loan facility is called ways and means advance. It was introduced in 1997. It was introduced in 1997. The purpose is already explained. They are introduced for the mismatch of temporary cash requirement of the government. How it's work? They explain that the government can avail immediate cash. Government can avail immediate cash from RBI. So under WMA, government can immediately withdraw money from whom? Government can immediately withdraw money from RBI, right? They can immediately withdraw the money from RBI, whereas under the cash management bills, government securities, government securities are going to be issued. Government securities are going to be issued by whom? RBI, right? RBI will issue an auction or sale. Auction means bidding will be there, or fixed amount. Auction or fixed. Auction or fixed amount, it will be sold in the market. Money will come to RBI, then RBI will give to the government, right? So you cannot get money immediately. You cannot get money immediately under the CMBs, whereas the cash, it is like what? WMA is like you can immediately avail the money. Where? From RBI if required, but it has to return amount within 90 days. So whatever the money you have withdrawn immediately, you have to return within 90 days, right? Whereas under the cash management bills, you have to issue the security. That securities are going to be issued by the Reserve Bank of India on the behalf of Government of India, and after it issuance, it will be either auctioned or it will be sold at fixed price. Once it will be sold, you will get the money, but money have to return 90 days. 90 days means 91 days not possible. So within 90 days you have to return it, right? You have to return that money. Means the government which has borrowed through RBI under the CMBs, they must have to return that money under the CMBs. Similarly, in ways and means advance, here is the same condition. Within 90 days you have to do it. Now the difference, the interest rate charge is existing repo rate. Existing repo rate, whatever the repo rate will be there, that is going to be the interest rate, right? So suppose that repo rate is 3.75%. So repo rate is 3.75%. So government is going to pay the interest of 3.75%. If the repo rate is 4%, then you have to pay the same interest rate, right? But if way and means advance is going to exceed 90 days, it will be treated as overdraft. It will be treated as overdraft. Interest rate on overdraft is 2 percentage point more than repo rate. So if government fail to pay in 90 days, then you have to pay how much? 3.75% plus 2%. That means 5.75% you have to pay. Right? You have to pay 3.75%. What it means that? It means that if we will take these two instruments, WMA and cash management bills. WMA and cash management bill, money is available immediately. Money is available immediately. Whereas securities will be issued by RBI It will be issued by RBI. Cash management will be issued by whom? It will be issued by RBI and auction, or what? Either will be auction or there will be fixed price sale. Fixed price sale or auction, right? And it is not necessary. It is not necessary interest. It is not necessary interest rate will be repo rate. It is not necessary. It is not necessary. It is repo rate. But will be according to market interest rate of GSES of that time. So at that point of time, GSES means government securities. Suppose that treasury bills are being auctioned with maximum interest rate of 5.25%. So this is the maximum interest rate, 5.25%, and either under the fix or under the auction, that is going to be there for cash management bill. Whereas for ways and means advance, interest rate is fixed, and that is what? Repo rate. Repo rate for 90 days. If government fail to pay for that 90 days, then repo plus 2% interest rate will be applicable on the government, right? Whereas in the cash management bill at the time of maturity, government must have to pay. Otherwise, it will be called as default. it will be called as default. If government is failed to pay that amount, it will be called as default, right? And default is kind of the thing which is rarest of the rare, especially well established and stable economy like India, right? So default is government never going to go for such kind of the bad name on his records. So default is not going to be there. So generally they are going to properly mature. But here in the ways and means advance, it is not clear whether government is going to pay. If government want to go for what? Government go for further amount, then government can go for say that okay, we are ready to pay this amount. So government have this option. Either they can pay within the 90 days or they can do it later, right? So these are the some basic difference. So you can see that ki ways and means advance, when government all of sudden government need that money, then they can utilize this thing. They can utilize this thing. Whereas if government have planned kind of the short term requirement which is less than 90 days, I mean up to 90 days, then government can go for cash management bill, right? So cash management bill have certain advantages over WMA, and in some areas WMA have advantage over cash management bills. What WMA have an advantage? WMA have an advantage over CMBs. First, let understand what is the advantage of having WMA facility and why government want to utilize this first. Because generally repo rate is always less than what is market determined interest rate. So it is easy for government to avail this facility, right? To avail this facility. So government first instance will try to go for it, WMA, right? But how much? How much you can withdraw under WMA? Under WMA is determined by RBI and Government of India for entire financial year. So for example, lump sum for this upcoming financial year, the financial year which is going to start from 1st April, probably it will be somewhere around 45,000 crores. So WMA facility maximum amount is available. So there is a limit under WMA, right? So there is a limit under WMA. So within the limit you have to borrow. After that limit is exceeded, you do not have any option under WMA. Then definitely you have to go for what? Cash management bill. Sometimes students ask you, sir, why? The reason is cash management bill and sorry, WMA. WMA is a kind of easy facility, and when the credit is available to you very easily, you are maybe prone to go for unnecessary borrowings, and later on maybe you are not able to repay, right? Classic example are the credit cards, right? So credit card, you have seen that a lot of facility, cashback, blah 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 blah, lot of facilities are being provided by the credit card companies, right? And they wait patiently. They'll give you a lot of facilities, EMIs, lot of things they will provide you, and they just will wait. Beta kabhi to default karoge, and you miss the payment, and then they are going to put 36% annual interest rate charge, right? So they know how to make money, right? So the classic tactic is what? Just give you the facility. At a point of time you are going to cross your limit, right, of repaying, the ability of repaying, and you will convert your entire amount in the EMIs, right? For example, if you have a credit card, you can pay, suppose that for example I have one credit card having the limit of 1.5 lakh, right? And just I swap, because I was purchasing something, so I have swapped the card around 70,000. I have swapped. Since that point of time till then, bill is not generated. Every day I'm getting the call from the bank, कि do you want to convert in EMI? अरे भाई नहीं कराना EMI में convert. I will pay it one go. Right? But they are pushing because if I am not going to pay the entire amount, they will charge some extra amount. Plus, if I will convert in the EMIs, then I have to pay the interest. Right? So, similarly, governments also have this problem. Maybe they can borrow more and they are not able to repay it. Right? So, this is why WMA facility have certain limitation. And as I told you, it was introduced in 1997. So what was happening before 1997? Before 1997, there was a system of ad hoc treasury bills. The system of ad hoc treasury bills. Under this, what was happening? There was, first of all, there was no limit. For example, right now there is a limit of 45,000. Earlier there was a no limit. Government can anytime, any amount can withdraw from RBI. So suppose that you have withdrawn from RBI, right? And you told that we will return in 90 days. If you are not able to return in 90 days, suppose that 100 crore has been withdrawn by the government and government said that we will return in 90 days. But government defaulted, then in that case, what RBI will do? RBI will issue government securities worth 100 crore in market. So this is the RBI and here is the government of India. So what government of India did? Government of India withdrawn this 100 crores from here, right? So RBI is having the deficiency of this 100 crore. Okay, RBI have a deficiency of this 100 crore. So RBI will issue tables of 100 crores in the market through auction or the fixed price and they will maintain their balance. So what was happening? Each and every time government was doing this thing. Government is not directly going to the market with the negotiation with the RBI. Government is not focusing the other treasury bills or long-term borrowing. Government was each and every time using this facility. Every time they will withdraw the money from the RBI's cash balance and they will utilize it, and later on they are saying that to RBI, okay, you can go for auctions and you can win that what government securities. So it is creating a lot of problem for RBI. RBI was not properly able to manage government's borrowing. Why? Because there is no certainty how much money government need. So at a particular point of time, there is a limited supply of money. Money supply is limited, right? At a particular point of time, there is a limited amount of money available in the market. And government has created the uncertainty. So because of government's uncertainty, this money supply, sometimes it is going to be unnecessary high, sometimes it is going to be unnecessary low, because you do not have a kind of knowledge from the government ki how much they need. So interest rates are volatile. Number one. Number two, enough money should be available in the economy for the private sector, right? If you want to drive your economy, you want economic growth, then money should be available for the private investor. Just allowing the FDI, government is saying that ki, haji 100% FDI allowed hai. We are allowing 100% FDI, but that investor came to your market, now he need working capital requirement, but your money market is do not have any money because most of the money is already consumed by whom? Government. So if you are allowing the foreign investments, then in your money market, money should be available. So all these things were discussed with the RBI and Government of India, and finally they abandoned this ad hoc treasury bill system and they have introduced this ways and means advance. Right? Ways and means advance system is being introduced. But again, you can get the money at repo rate, which is less than what is the market interest rate, right? So if now government is not able to fulfill its requirement through this WMA, then they can use either cash management bills if they have up to 90 days requirement, or they can go for treasury bills if they have requirement from 91 days to 364 days. So this was the purpose to have this Ways and Means Advance, Cash Management Bill and Treasury Bill. Right. So government have three options. Government have three options. WMA, right? Then CMBs, then T-bills. I have not mentioned this in the money market. I have not mentioned in the money market. The reason is because WMA is with RBI for government. So WMA is a kind of facility for government through RBI. If our government is not going to pay in 91 days, then 90 days, sorry, then it will be converted into treasury bills and it will be auctioned in the market. So this is why there was no mention of WMA when I have mentioned the money market instrument, right? But if you want to understand the CMBs, it is required you must know what is WMA. Otherwise, later on you are going to get confused. So this is why I have explained WMA and cash management. I hope it is clear right now. Still, if you have any doubt, please let me know. I'm looking for any of question. If you have, let me know. Otherwise, I will move forward. Acha, ad hoc treasury bill. Ad hoc treasury bill was a kind of facility government can withdraw cash from RBI to meet any immediate cash mismatch, right? Cash mismatch. So government has withdrawn 100 crores, right? Government has withdrawn 100 crores under ad hoc tables, right? And government said that we will return in 90 days, right? Government said that we will return in 90 days, but government failed to return in 90 days, right? And government is non-committal to return that money, right? So RBI is going to do what? RBI is going to issue tables. Now RBI have to discuss with the government ki, okay, you have not returned that money in 90 days. Now please tell us, either you are going to return in 182 days or 364 days. 182 days or 364 days, and even if you are not able to return that point of time, then we will issue government bonds. Government bonds generally have 1 year to 30 years maturity. So RBI have to discuss with them 182 days, 364 days, 14 to 1 year, sorry, 1 year to 30 years. What you want, at what amount of time do you need to return that money which you have taken as a temporary cash mismatch? So ad hoc treasury bill was a facility to give you what? Temporary mismatch of the cash. Temporary mismatch of the cash. It's like that your friend told you कि भाई अगर कभी means you go from office to home, in case if you need any money because you do not have the money, right? So I'll help you, and he has given the money to you, right? That means what? On the next day you must return that money to him, right? It should not be like that ki you have asked him ki okay, give me 5,000, he has given you the 5,000, and later on you told him that ki okay yaar, take this 5,000 as a loan, you have given me the loan and I will return you later, right? So ad hoc treasury bill is a facility under which what? Under which you will get a temporary mismatch requirement will be fulfilled by the RBI. But what government started using this ad hoc treasury system as a system of finance. You have this facility of T-bills. You have the facility of T-bills. You have the facility of government bonds. But here you have to make a commitment. If government is saying that ki issue the treasury bills of 91 days, if government is saying that ki issue the treasury bill of 91 days and RBI have issued, then government is bound to repay. Government is bound to repay on 91 day, 91st day, government is bound to repay. Here under the ad hoc treasury bill system, you have just withdrawn the money, right? Now you have an entire financial year to have a discussion with the RBI ki when you are able to pay, at what time. No doubt you have to pay the interest rate, but there is an uncertainty. So it facility was given you, a facility was given you to meet the temporary mismatch, right? It's not a loan facility. It's not a loan facility, but temporary mismatch. But government has started using this ad hoc treasury bill system as what? As a financing facility. So this is why when structural and functional reforms in 1991 was executed, that issue also came. That issue also came, but nobody from, actually the issue was always there. Issue was always there, but no one from RBI has ever taken the initiative to discuss this thing with the government. They have made no objections in their speech. For example, RBI governor is giving a speech at somewhere and he is putting this issue, but they have never discussed this thing with the government. It was who? Can you guess who initiated this discussion? Who initiated this discussion? No, it was YV Reddy. It was YV Reddy who has initiated the discussion. So that's why YV Reddy is a kind of person who have one of the tallest name in the recent years. PC was having a kind of this means conflict between PC and YV Reddy, right? So generally, what happens is if the both finance minister is proper kind of the economist. Generally, India have very rare moment where the finance minister is coming from the proper background. They have some idea, but they are not coming from the proper background, right? So PC is also kind of the person who is proper finance person, right? And he have a deep knowledge about the government financing and each and everything. So actually, RBI won't completely abolish this thing. But it was PC, he said that ki please try to understand our practical problem also. We understand ki that is creating a lot of problem, but please try to understand our problem also. So that's why in the moderate frame, they have introduced WMA. RBI won't completely abolish this facility, but with the discussion with the finance ministry, especially the lead was taken by the P. Chitambram, and they went for WMA facility, right? अरे पी चिदम्बरम भैया, नॉट प्रियंका चोपड़ा. Vishwasarya sir, state government also avail the WMF against the consolidated sinking fund. Kindly explain. अभी तुम्हें वो वहां पे क्यों जाना है? उसमें क्यों जाना है? I already explained when I was explaining this all this RBI as a government banker. I already explained that sinking fund each and everything in detail here. Here we are not going to discuss that sinking fund and all because other students are going to get confused. Right? I'm not going to discuss it here, but in this PDF you can find this what you are saying. It is mentioned here. There are two type of ways and means: advance, special, and normal one. So I'll share that PDF. You can read. It's very simple. Everyone can understand. But right now I'm not going to discuss because it is unnecessary going to create a confusion among the other students. Okay. Acha. Just give me a second. I'll let you know the name. Sorry, not able to find it right now. I'll let you know. I have a book, but I have to find where it is. Uh, just let me see. Okay, I'll let you know once the class will be over. Okay. I need a moment. Just give me a minute. I will be back. Huh? I will be back. I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, sorry for this interruption. So I explained this why ad hoc treasury bill was abandoned and why this WMA facility was introduced. Okay, Nishta, no, sir, was it BVR Vittal? No, 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 not BVR Vittal. Where I have the book of. Acha, at the end of the class, I'll find that book and I'll let you know at the end of the class. Okay. So till then now we have already discussed about call money, notice money, T-bills, that is treasury bills, and cash management bills. Right? Cash management bills, two instruments of money market. Now we have to discuss what commercial papers, commercial bills, certificate of deposit, money market, mutual funds. Then we have to discuss CBLO, collateralized borrowing and lending obligation. This is we have to discuss. But before going all these things, means to discuss these things, we must know two things. One is what is promissory note, and other is about rating agencies, or better, credit rating agencies. Okay. Just give me Oh, sorry. Actually, this call I have put on hold. Means I'm on hold on one call, but I have to wait. So I'm going to continue with the teaching. Once they will unhold me, I will discuss with them, and then I'll get back to you. Means just continue. So we must have to know what is promissory notes and what is credit rating agency, right? I'm on call, right? But they are going to take some time to process my request. So rather than waiting, they are going to process my request. I have put myself on mute on that call. Till that time, I'm going to teach you. Okay, so this is the issue. So, promissory notes and credit rating agency, these two things we must understand here. Right. So, what is promissory notes? Anyone? Anyone want to explain? Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Yes, tell me. I was on call. That's why I have put you on mute. I hope now I'm not on mute. It is a negotiable instrument used between two parties for the payment at a given date. Okay. Promise to pay on certain dates. On demand is written. If a buyer have no cash at a time of delivery, he can issue the P notes. Okay. सूर्या सर टेलीग्राम में चैट का ऑप्शन इनेबल करवाइए ना, पेड सब्सक्राइबर्स के डाउट्स हैं। पेड सब्सक्राइबर्स के डाउट्स हैं। If doubts are related to me, you can ask me directly. Better to be in the class. And okay, you means I'll ask Ashok ji to enable this option. Unconditional undertaking. How it is unconditional undertaking? If a buyer have no cash, use between two parties. So in PN, there will be only two parties. In PN, there will be only two parties. I am promised to pay the bearer this amount of notes. Okay. What about maker? Is banknotes a promissory note? Deal borrowing already done, now payment to be done. An undertaking is given and payment टाइम पे कुछ कंडीशंस नहीं लगेगी. No third party can be involved. Yes, sir. Fixed deposit is PN. No, I'm talking about not fixed deposit. I'm talking about banknotes. No, banknotes are not PN. Banknotes are not PN. They are not promissory notes. They are not promissory notes. I will explain why. I will explain why. This is natural answer, right? This is natural answer. Once you know the PN, most of the people they presume that it's a banknote. So if somebody is saying that ki, yes, I do believe banknotes are PN, that is, I believe it is a normal answer and natural answer, because there are some differences between banknotes and PN, which I am going to explain. Right. So it's a natural answer, nothing wrong in that. I was expecting is if you are telling me you don't know and you are trying to use your understanding. I suppose that you have an understanding of PN, you have an understanding of this PN, and on the basis of that understanding, you are trying to figure it out ki whether banknotes are PN or not. Then most of the people, on the basis of understanding of PN, they will say yes. If you will use the reasoning and analogy of PN, you will say yes, they are not, but actually they are not. Why they are not? I will explain. Why they are exception. That is participatory notes. That is participatory notes. That's a P notes. PN, P notes, PN acronym is used for promissory notes, not for P notes. P notes is a different thing. We will discuss it later. First, understand the promissory notes. When person A and person B, when a person A and person B is going to involve in financial transactions, so suppose that A is going to borrow from B, right? A is going to borrow from B, right? So the two possibilities, either on verbal promise or written promise, right? Either on the basis of verbal promise, on the basis of written promise, B can lend that money to A, right? If the verbal promise is going to be made, it have no kind of backing. No backing will be there. No backing means if a person A is going to refuse in the future, you know, I have not made any such kind of the commitment, B is not having any proof or something like that. Okay, so that's why B needs some kind of what assurity, right? Some kind of the assurity, so that if in case A is going to refuse, he can use that assurity to recover his money, right? So for that, we need certain papers on which A can give the written promise, right? And in India, when Britishers have introduced a formal financial system like banks and other things, other institutions, they have introduced in India, they also face the same difficulty, because in India there was no as such law which can define the promises made by or given by the person from whom he is borrowing the money, right? So that is why they have introduced Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Negotiable Instrument Act, and under this act they have mentioned various terms and conditions on what basis a person can make a promise, right? On what basis you can make a promise, number one, and what are the conditions to make the promise. One is कि how I can make the promise, what comes under the promise. ठीक है, you said that कि that entire earth is mine, right? I am the owner of this mother earth, so I can give you this earth once I will be do what, once I'm not able to repay your money, I will give this earth to you. So such kind of the things you cannot do this. You are going to be prevented while using such kind of the thing. For example, a kind of story, a person was making his home, right? A person was making his home, he was constructing his home, under the construction, and suddenly one of his neighbor came and he said that I just want to contribute in some of your construction work. So he said, why you want to contribute? He said, I just want to contribute on the voluntary basis. I just want to contribute on the voluntary basis. He said, why you want to contribute on the voluntary basis? He said that, see my dear, my mother, she's in village and she is bedridden, means she is in the last stage, and you know her, she came and how she like you, and you are just like a son to her, and she told me that go and make some contribution. So he said, okay, fine, no issue. So he said that I just want to contribute half brick in your construction. So he said, okay, you can contribute the half brick, half brick. You can contribute. I have no issues. Then that person who was there to contribute, he said that okay, but I have one more unusual request. He said that what? He said my mother hardly have a trust on me. So can you write on the paper yes, I have contributed in your construction work with half brick. He said it's I mean it is what I can say, it's I mean I'm not able to understand, but okay, fine, if your mother is having some kind of the thing, I can understand, I will write on the paper, right? So he wrote on the paper yes, that person has contributed with half brick, right? After 6 months, when his construction was completed, and the kind of Grih Pravesh puja was going on, he saw the postman. He saw the postman at his doorstep, and he just said that okay, बड़े अच्छे time पर आए हैं. We are going for this puja and all. So he said that no, I am not here to be a part of your puja. I am here to give you the quote someone. He said, what? Quote someone? He said, yes, you have defaulted. That's why court have sent you what kind of summon, or you can say that notice, kind of court notice. So he opened the notice and he was shocked. That man who contributed the half brick, he was claiming I have contributed with half of the bricks of this construction work, and for that he is not paying back to me, and I have a proof I have contributed in his construction work, right? I have contributed in his construction work. So that is a fictional story. That is a completely fictional story. But the moral of story is whenever you are going to do any transactions, if you will make those transactions on paper and in the proper manner, then you will be less inconvenienced. But while making a paper, you also have to pay utmost attention. So creating a paper on which you are going to do the transactions, it is very important to follow all those terms and conditions. Generally, what we will do when we go for any operating system like Android operating system or Apple operating system or whatever the software or application we are going to download, there is a long terms and conditions, and we just click on accept all rather than reading the long terms and conditions, right? So the idea is the terms and conditions should be mentioned very properly. And most of the Indian firms, they hardly provide you the terms and condition in detail, because here legal things are not very common. People are not very interested to go on all these things. But in the Western countries, especially in the US, everything is based on the contract, right? So contract should be written in the proper manner, and that contract is very popular in the West. So when the Western people came to this country, they feel that the things on which the negotiations are going to happen and it is going to be formalized, we must made a law, proper law. So that's why they have created this Negotiable Instrument Act. And even all your bank holidays, banks working, clearance of the money, transfer of the money, deposit in your account, all these things happen under the Negotiable Instrument Act, right? So it's a kind of mother law which provide you all legalities with respect to what? With respect to promissory notes. I hope this background is sufficient. So let's come to directly to that PDF. Promissory note is a legal and financial instrument that is written between three financing parties: the maker, the lender, and the payee or the borrower. Right? So those people who are arguing, they are saying that only two people are involved. Right? With the two people, it is never going to get any legal status until unless third party is involved. Third party is a maker. Right? So you must have a maker who is going to make that promissory note. This note contains terms and of issuance details and debt-like circumstances of the loan, who the bearer is and from whom, the maturity date, amount payable, interest rate or not, and more. All these things should be there. It is written, it is a written promise by the lender assuring the borrower that they can avail the money from the lender as per specified after the agreement. I'm reading again. It is a written promise by the lender assuring the borrower that they can avail money from the lender as specified after the agreement. Right? So it's not just only the borrower have certain terms and condition, even lender have to follow that certain terms and condition. Means I am borrowing money from you on the certain terms and condition, but at the same time you also have certain terms and condition to follow to lend the money to me, right? So it's not one sided kind of the thing, it's a both kind of the thing. Now, promissory notes are written promise made by the maker of individual and companies. That means promissory note can be issued by individual as well as firm to see the source of finance from other than just bank, right? So bank is not just going to ask you, because whenever you are going to borrow from the bank is providing loan on the basis of collateral, right? Collateral, and sometimes even without collateral they also go for the promissory notes, but the interest rates are generally little bit high and lot of terms and conditions you must have to satisfy, only then bank will provide the loan. But on the basis of promissory note you can get the loan easily, a little bit easier, right? The note attest the validity of lender and promise the credit worthiness of the borrower. Since a promissory note only promise the repayment of the loan or credit has been lent, right? So promissory note promissory note will be made only when means it is based on what? It is going to be created for the repayment of the loans. So the basic idea about the promissory note is it is being made for the purpose of repayment of the loans. So we do create this thing in order to repayment of the loan. So the highlighted lines are contradictory, please check. What contradictory? Can you please let me know what contradiction? I didn't find any contradiction. In India, promissory note can be issued under Section 4 of Negotiable Instrument Act, therefore the making it legal instrument and binding parties by law. The source of fund is being unregulated method. The source of fund being an unregulated method, even so promissory notes are classified into the secured and unsecured notes. I just explained this thing. I just explained this thing to you. What it is a written promise. It is a written promise. They are writing one aspect. See, generally people know that it is a promise by borrower. Yes, this is the promise of borrower. But promissory note also have certain terms and condition on what? Certain terms and condition on lender also. So if borrower and lender, borrower have made this promise. If borrower have made this promise, then lender is also obligated to pay that money to him. You cannot refuse. You cannot refuse once the agreement is being done between you and the borrower. Suppose that you are borrower and I'm a lender. You made the promissory notes and I have taken the promissory note from you. Right? I have taken the promissory note from you. So I am bound to give you that money. I cannot refuse. I cannot refuse because I have taken a promissory note from you. So I cannot refuse. I must give you the money. What you will do if that condition is not there, if this condition is not there, what they have written here, if this condition is not being there, and I will take your promissory note, I will promise, I am promising you, okay, just give me the promissory note, I will give you the money on as a loan. So you have made the promissory note and you have given that promissory note to me. Once I have received that promissory note, I said I am not going to pay any money, I'm not going to give you any loan. Then what you will do? What you will do? So that's why promissory note must have an obligation on whom? Not only just the borrower, but lender also comes under that category. So that's why they have written this thing. It is a written promise by the lender assuring the borrower that they can avail the money from the lender as per specified after the agreement. Okay. Now, PN, these PN are of two types. One is unsecured and another is secured. Unsecured means no collateral. No collateral. And here collateral will be mentioned. So for example, if I am lending 5 lakh rupees to you and it is unsecured, so no mention of the collateral will be there. But if it is secured, then there will be mention ki if you are going to default the payment, then I can recover that money against the gold or against the property or against any valuable thing which have the value of 5 lakh rupees, you are going to give it to me. Right? So I am going to hold that collateral during that phase. If you are going to fail to repay, I will sell that collateral and I will recover my money. So that is going to be the secured and it is unsecured. Okay. Promissory notes are also considered as a securities and they are thus traded on the money market in India by banks and traders. Right. So suppose that on promissory note, you promised me what? The promise is I am giving you 5 lakh and you will repay me 5.5 lakh. That means 10% interest for 1 year. Right? 10% interest for 1 year. But after 6 months, what I feel that ki if I will have some money like 5 lakh rupees money I have right now. It's like this. How it is traded? A, he received this paper, 5.5 lakh rupees promissory note, 5.5 lakh rupees promissory note, 1 year validity, and 5.5 lakh. It is what? Face value, and it is maturity value. And this is the paper of A. He has given this paper to B, right? Discount of 50,000. So he has taken this promissory note. A wrote this promissory note and he has given to B, and B has taken this promissory note having the face value of 5.5 lakh at the discount of how much? At the discount of 50,000. That means B has given 5 lakh rupees. B has given 5 lakh rupees to A. After 1 year, he will pay 5.5 lakh to B. Okay. But in between, after 6 months, B got an opportunity. He need 5 lakh rupees. He need 5 lakh rupees because if he will invest this 5 lakh rupees after 6 months, there is an opportunity he can make from 5 lakh to 5 lakh 20,000. But he already put his money here, right? So the security PN notes which he have, he can give it to other person. He can trade it to other person. It is transferable. So that's why they call it as a security. So he has offered to D after 6 months. He said that I can give you this paper at the price of 5,25,000. 5,25,000. So D happily accepted that okay, I can take this paper because he is going to get 25,000 after 6 months. Right, after 6 months he is going to get 25,000. So in this way, these promissory notes can be further traded until unless they are going to finally mature. Right. So this way they are tradable thing, and that's why they called it as a what? Security. Why there is unsecured? Why lender would go for without collateral? It's up to the lender. When you take the personal loan, what kind of the collateral bank is going to take from you? When you take a credit card from the bank on which you have a kind of credit limit of 1 lakh rupees, is bank is going to take any collateral from you? No, na. They are not going to have any collateral. But his question is valid. His question is valid. If you are not going to give me a collateral, if you are not going to give me a collateral, how I can trust you? How I can trust you? You will repay my money, right? So there must be a person who can predict what is the possibility of that person to repay your money. What is the possibility of that person? B is having a doubt in his mind over A. B have a doubt in his mind over A whether he is able to repay this money after 1 year or not. So either you want collateral or you can go for some kind of assurance. Some kind of assurance. So kind of assurance, who is going to provide you assurance? There must be an individual or company or agency who can ratify this person A. What his credibility in terms of, for suppose that there is a company XYZ and they have made in his report, XYZ made in report, A is kind of excellent borrower. He always repay his money on time. Right? He always repay his money on time, and we have a credit history of last 5 years. And in last 5 years, even a single time he is not defaulted. Right? Whereas Later on, when the XYZ have published its report, the A is Anil Ambani. So you have seen that in the recent year, Anil Ambani has defaulted it many times. So that's why maybe the person B is going to be little bit deter, right? So here comes the role of credit rating agencies. So I hope you got the understanding about the promissory note. Few other details are here. So promissory notes are subject to GST, right? They are under the GST. Promissory notes cannot be valid unless it contains the detail about the nature of credit, means of repay, duration, signature of all parties, condition agreed, right? These are the common thing which required. Until unless all these conditions are not there, it will be not considered as a promissory note. On its own, a promissory note is unconditional. So it is not just unconditional, it is own. It is own a unconditional. There is one thing, it is unconditional. There is unconditional means no terms and conditions. But under the given terms and condition, it is unconditional. Again, I'm trying to explain you. There is one term, it is unconditional. Unconditional promise. Unconditional promise, but it is not just an unconditional promise, it is unconditional promise under given terms and conditions. So what terms and conditions are being defined? So I am saying that ki I can hit anywhere. Here is a batsman and he is saying that I can hit anywhere, right? But if he is saying that ki I can hit anywhere under this boundary lines, if he is claiming that ki I can hit anywhere, here, or anywhere, that is unconditional. But if he is saying that ki I can hit anywhere as a batsman under these boundaries, right? I can hit under these boundaries anywhere, right? Then it is a kind of unconditional on its own. Unconditional on its own. I hope now it is clear. Sir, does the credit rating agency rate both individual and companies' credibility? Yes, they not only individual company but also the government's ability. How does the bank rate the credit worthiness of the borrower? I will discuss that thing in the next class. शब्दों का हेरफेर नहीं है, शब्दों का ही खेल है. It's a play of words, right? In the finance, it's a play of word, and words are going to have a weight, not what you are doing means your action is not going to be recognized, right? It is your words are going to be recognized, right? So you have seen that people like Vijay Mallya in the past, they have did lot of thing, right? But your action not what the promise you have given on the paper, that is going to recognize your personality, right? In the real world, राइट इन द रियल वर्ल्ड. सो वो इंस्टाग्राम के रील वाले वर्ड में चलता है कि एक्शंस आर यू गोइंग टू डिफाइन ऑन द पेपर व्हाट स्ट्रेंथ यू हैव द वीकनेसेस यू हैव दैट इज गोइंग टू डिफाइन राइट. वो नॉर्मल वर्ड में चलता है योर एक्शन आर गोइंग टू डिफाइन व्हाट इज योर पर्सनालिटी ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. इन फाइनेंस वर्ड इट इज ओनली ऑन द पेपर. आप पेपर पे कितने स्ट्रॉन्ग और वीक हो that is going to decide. Even in the RBI Grade B exam, if you are very strong on the paper, only then you are going to get an opportunity to appear in the interview. Show your actions, okay, and personality. So, yes, another thing, it must be written by hand. It should not be typed, it should be written by hand. Note must be stamped by the revenue stamp as per the rule of Indian Stamp Act. Right. So those who are still confused, pay, and who is a maker? So maker role played by what? Indian Stamp Act. So revenue stamp or a normal stamp, it should be there. So that is going to authenticate. ये थोड़ी ना कि हिंदी फिल्मों की तरह कि कोरे कागज पे लिख दिया तेरा नाम. It's not going to be what? It must be properly stamped. Only then it is going to be considered as a promissory note. ये थोड़ी ना कि हैंड रिटन लिख दिया और बोल दिया कि ये लो promissory note. It is not going to be recognized. It should be properly stamped. Only then you can produce in the court. So why people are get scared when you are going to ask him to write means sign on the blank paper. So if you have signed on the blank paper, that blank paper can be converted in what? Promissory notes. That blank paper on which you have signed on it, that can be converted into the promissory note. After writing on it and then putting the revenue stamp, your sign is already there, so it can be converted into the promissory note. The classic drama which we have seen in the 90s, 1960s, 70s, and 80s of Hindi cinema and other part of the cinema also. Okay, so all these things about the promissory note. Now, regarding credit rating agency, right? I will explain it tomorrow, right? Because again, I am getting the call, and this time maybe it will take another 5 to 10 minutes. Today's means होता है ना, कभी कभी पनौती लगी होती है आपके ऊपर, तो वही चीज आज लगी हुई है, फोन पे फोन, फोन पे फोन. सर डू शेयर द FDI PDF. अच्छा, just give me a second. I will do it right now. Otherwise, again, I will forget. अच्छा, let me check. Let me check where that book is. Sorry, not able to find that book. Sir, एक बात phase 1 and phase 2, how many months of CA scheme, current affairs and schemes and reports maybe in the exam? Last 5 months. Yes, for grade B for this part, I have already this thing in my mind. So just waiting for notification. On the day they are going to put the notification out, I will discuss a kind of 60-day strategy. I already have this thing in the mind. A kind of 60-day strategy should be for the students so that they can do all these things in the given 60 days. Just waiting for the notification so that I can have a clarity. Then I will discuss. Means I have this thing in my mind. I will definitely discuss with you. Just let them come with the notification. I will discuss. 5 months बहुत है. Okay, so going to wind up this session. We'll discuss tomorrow rest of the thing. Okay, fine. Thank you.